Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 5 of 30 Days of Learning. This is the Power Platform track. I'm Japhlet Nwamu, and in this session, I'll be walking you through the automation platform on Microsoft's Power Platform. With Microsoft Power Automate, you can automate repetitive tasks within your day or other repetitive tasks that you get to carry out within a specific period of time. One reason why I love Power Automate is that it's a low code, no code development tool. What that means is you don't have to write code to be able to build these automated systems. This is how Power Automate looks like. To get to this screen, you would head over to powerautomate.com and sign in with your Microsoft 365 developer account. The reason why we request you to sign in with your Microsoft 365 developer account is because you would have an environment that would enable you create your automations, create all of your solutions utilizing other parts of Microsoft's Power Platform and test them out. Your default environment would not give you that access. So please, for those who are part of the 30 days of learning, if you haven't already, go back to the trainings we had during onboarding week and learn how to create your Microsoft 365 account. Use it to sign in. If you're signing in for the first time with your Microsoft 365 account, you'll be prompted to add details like your location, the country you are joining in from, and you click get started. Immediately you do, it takes you to the screen that looks like this. There are tons of amazing things you could automate with Microsoft Power Automate. The home screen shows you some tasks that you could get started with. You also have the opportunity to get started learning some cool things about Microsoft Power Automate. For example, you have modules collected from Microsoft Learn that would help you build better automations. So if you feel like you need to learn more about Power Automate, it's something you would love to explore more, be sure to learn from these courses or modules that have been provided here. To get more information about the latest features in Power Automate, you can also find it in the home section under the What's Next category. Now, I'm going to walk you through the entire dashboard. First thing I would like you to know about is the My Flow section. Here you will find all the automations that you have created, whether they are related to cloud flows or they are desktop flows or they are business process flows. You could also find them. Another interesting thing is you could share your flows with other people. Multiple people could work in on a specific flows and on a specific flow, and you can find all of them here. The next part I would like to talk about are the templates. So a lot of times when we need to build an automation, we don't really know how we go about it, how to make it happen. Well, if you are ever in this situation, head over to the template section and see if someone who has been in a situation like yours decided to create a template for you to utilize. It's simple and easy to make use of a template from the Microsoft Power Automate website. All you have to do is select it, input the necessary things you need to input, connect to the different parts you need to connect, and your solution starts working. I'm going to show you a sample one. We're going to be using a template in the approval section. I'll just show you how this works. Now, for this specific approval template we are going to be using, I want people within my organization, they want to take leaves, they are probably sick, or let's say they have something very urgent they need to deal with within the day or during a specific period of time. Instead of having to write a mail to me or and wait for me to read the mail, go through the approval process and all of that, I want to make it easier. So I head over to the templates and I can find a sample template, a template that has already been created, a flow that has already been created that I can utilize instead of having to create my own. It is the send forms responses for approval. So I'm going to use that, and you can find the different applications that are connected that would make it happen. We'll be talking a little bit about these different connectors and how they work together to make Microsoft Power Automate to carry out all of the automations that needs to be carried out. The different connectors we have is Microsoft Forms. If you notice here, I am signed in on Microsoft Forms with my email address, which is already showing that I'm good to go. I am also signing in with the approvals, and you would also notice that because I'm signed in, my account is connected, it has this green good. SharePoint, my account is already logged in. Office 365 account is properly logged in, and for Office 365 Outlook, which will be using to send emails out, it is also logged in. If you find any red sign here, you would also find the error message. For example, you might find fixed connection. What that means is it's requesting you to connect that specific automation to your account. So be sure to apply the fixed connection part of it, and it would connect to whatever application or software you want it to connect to. So because all have green marked signs, it means I'm good to go, and I would click on continue. And what is going to happen next is it's going to take me to the flow. Something to mention is Power Automate helps you break down problems into smaller parts. So whatever problem you are coming up with, whatever system you decide to build, the first thing you are required to do, especially when building with Microsoft Power Platform, Power Virtual Agents, and Power Automate, is that you get to break down that complex problem into smaller parts and then design them. For this approval, the first thing we want to happen is we want the user or the employee in our organization to submit a response via a Microsoft form. And that's what this first step is doing. It is collecting the response from the Microsoft form and then getting those responses using the get response flow with the details of the Microsoft form that we have created. Once it gets the details of the form, the next thing it does is it starts the approval. We're going to send the approval to somebody within the organization who possibly is the manager or any other admin who the employee needs to gain approval from. If you notice, the approval type is set to first to respond. So it just needs one person out of all the people whom the approval has been sent to approve it, and then the approval is completed. But you could also set it so everyone responds to it before the approval is clicked. This is very useful when you have to do something related to financials, related to money. You have to wait for everybody within the organization to either approve, everybody that has access that needs to approve it, to either approve or reject before moving on to the next stage. But because we're not dealing with something complex or something delicate as that, we just need one person to respond to it, and then we go on. So that's what this next step does. The next steps split the responses into two sections. Remember, the person or the admin from the backend can either approve or reject. And so what we are saying with this condition is if the person clicks approve, what should be done is an item should be created on SharePoint, and that item that has been created on SharePoint should be stored. So it should be stored. We should have it like a database, more of like a receipt of the response. So we can always go back to it. People within the organization can always go back to that SharePoint list, see the reason why this person is unavailable, and that the person took permission before going out. But if that request is not approved, what happens is it sends a mail to the person who submitted that and tells the person that the approval has been rejected. Now let's quickly test to see how this works. So we're going to create a Microsoft form. We're going to head over to office.com. We are going to sign in with our Microsoft 365 account. So just in case you head over to office.com and you find out that you're not signed in, please sign in with your Microsoft 365 account. We're going to create a new form, and the goal of this form is so the employees within our organization could submit our responses. So let's have 30 days of learning, employee leave request. And here what we want to do is add name, first name of the employee. Next thing we want to do is add the last name. Next thing is include the department and reason for leave. So we'll keep this now this way. So I'll just come here and ensure that these parts are required so that people don't get to skip any of those folders because they are any of those questions because they are super important in helping us out. Now that I've created my form, what I am going to do is I'll come over here and reload this page. The reason why I have to reload it is because it gets to pick this form. Again, the form was created after we opened it up. So I just have to reload it so it can find this form. So I come over here and I should be able to find the form. I can see 30 days of learning employees leave request. Now, next thing I will need to do is to create a SharePoint list. So let's head over to Share Office. Sorry, they have it here. So let me just come here, and here we'll have SharePoint. So instead of having to type it out, and I'm going to create a SharePoint item and list so our responses will be stored there. Create a SharePoint site. And what is going to happen is I'm going to create a team site. So 30 days of learning. And I will just leave the other spaces blank. Anyone in your organization can access it. And I'm going to leave this blank. So what I'm going to do is create a list here. A list is more of like a database. So I'm creating that list. And then what is going to happen is that we're going to do something from blank. So 30 days of learning employee leave request. I'll skip that description section for now, and then I'll just head over and create. Now I'm going to add the respective columns. So I already have a default column there. What I'll do is first name, and then I'll add a separate column In this separate column, it's a single line of text, last name. Details again we have included on the form, so have last name, and also include another column. So sorry. I'll include another column, single line of text. These would pick what are the details we have in our form again. Let me just check quickly. First name, department, and reason for leave. So department, and then next thing we're going to have is reason for leave. But for reason for leave, we're going to have multiple line of text because we want user to input. The user definitely would have to explain him or herself. The employer would have to explain him or herself. So over back here, and we're going to save this and reload. Oops. So come over here. We haven't included the form ID yet. So we'll come over here. Now for this section, we're trying to select, as I mentioned earlier, the specific form we want to get the responses from. So we input the form we included here. And then for the response ID, we're selecting every single response in the form. Every single response that was submitted. So let's save this. Let's reload again. So I'll reload this again so it can take on all the changes that has been made and all the new things we have created and added to it. So let's do this again. I'm going to pick a form. So I'm going to pick the form, come over here, select the form again. And we have selected the responses. So what we're going to do is next give a title. We want to customize the title of the mail that will be sent to the admin to approve. So we'll say what the first name from this department is requesting a leave. It will be assigned to myself since I have access to my email. So I'll just wait for it to properly search this. Great. So if you notice, so I'm going to use this account, and what is going to happen next is I would have to include the details, so the first name and last name, and from department has requested to take a leave. Here are the reasons why. I would include reason for leave. And then what I'm going to do is, if it is approved, the response should be saved on our SharePoint list. So we'll come here and copy out the address for the SharePoint list. Sorry. So I'll just copy this address out. and I should find it here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reload this. And if you notice here, we had an issue. Our SharePoint list was not properly connected. So it has been properly connected now. So I'll just go over this again. So this time we said first name from department is requesting a leave. Email address we're sending this to. So the details, first name of that person, the last name from the department is requesting a leave. Here are the reasons for the request. So I'm going to skip this other section and let's see if we can find. Great. So coming over here, we'll find to search for the SharePoint list. Okay. So for now, we still can't find this SharePoint list that was created. I think we'll just reload this. And what we're going to do is we're going to delete this for now so we can save. So we can save and reload again, and so we don't lose the responses. So we're going to the subject of the approval start and approval fail. So we're going to save this. We're going to save this and then reload again. Great. So we're going to reload so it can display the SharePoint list that we have created. Let's go back. And let's click the pencil icon to open it up again. Great. So let's come over to this section and include create an item. From SharePoint. I think at this point you should be able to find our SharePoint list. So what we're going to do is add an action, create an item, and if it is going to display SharePoint here, and then we're just going to paste the site address for our SharePoint list, which is this. You notice we can find it now. I'm going to select the 30 days of learning employee leave request. So just click that, and you notice what's going to happen next is it's going to give us the different sections in that the different columns in that SharePoint list and tell us to attach responses from the form to each of those columns. So first thing we're going to do for the title column, remember we had the first name. So the last name is going to be in the last name column. The department is going to be in the department column. Sorry, let's just bring this up. And reason for leave is going to be the reason for leave column. So let's save this. Wait and see. Sorry, we haven't tested yet, so don't forget to test. So I'm going to click test and test it out. Great, and you're going to find something like this. To see it work now, submit in your response to the selected form. So let's head over and submit a new response here. So let's do this again. This department said Power Platform. Reason for leave, I am currently participating in 30 days of learning and need some time to commit to it. Let's submit this and let's head over again, and you notice your flow is running. So what is going to happen is I'm going to head over to my Outlook. Because I am the admin, I was selected to either approve or reject. I'm going to open up my email address, and when I open up my email address, you will notice that there is a Microsoft flow. So when I click the Microsoft flow open, what you notice is the details. The title, Japhlet from Power Platform, is requesting a leave. Now, Japhlet from Power Platform, these are details. Japhlet from Power Platform is requesting a leave. Here are the reasons for the leave, for the request. I'm currently participating in 30 days of learning and need some time to commit to it. The moment I'm going to click on approve and say comment section approved and submit, after I click on submit, let's head over to SharePoint. This is SharePoint, and our SharePoint list is here. You would notice that the response, because it has been approved, is here on SharePoint. So this is a simple automated process. We didn't have to go through repeating the tasks of picking the responses on Microsoft form or having it on Excel and then moving them here or some other complex way of doing that. No, we didn't have to do it that way. It happened just the same way we had. It's easy and simple. There are 256 connectors you will connect your automated systems to. If you notice, for the solution we just built, we connected to Microsoft Forms, we connected to Office 365 Outlook, we connected to SharePoint, and we connected to approvals. There are tons of others you can connect to. You have Twitter, you have notifications, you have weather softwares and solutions, you have tons of others. So you could come here and check this out. You can see Azure Active Directory, you have Blogger, you have Twilio, and a bunch of others that you could connect to and utilize. Now, while building your automated systems, there are three types of automated flows you should take note of. First, you have the automated cloud flow. The example we just worked on is an automated cloud flow. The reason why it's an automated cloud flow is it was triggered by an event that we didn't have to push a button for, or we didn't have to wait for a specific time to get triggered. Response is submitted and automatically it carries out the remaining responses. So that's an example of an automated cloud flow. Another example of an automated cloud flow is somebody submitting a response, probably registering for a program on Microsoft Form, and immediately the person submits a response, you set it in such a way that the person is sent an email, probably welcoming the person to the program, telling the person what the next steps are, what the person needs to do, and the likes. For an instant cloud flow, it is triggered manually when the user or the person clicks a button. So the person clicks a button, it gets triggered. The button could be on Power Apps, the button could be on another application you are connecting to. But the moment it is clicked or touched, or something is done manually, it then triggers it. At sometimes too, you want your flows to run at a specific time, probably in the morning when employees log into their system, say 8 o'clock every morning, reminding them to do something or to carry out a specific task. Or probably later in the day, you want them to take a survey, you can schedule this type of flow. They are called scheduled cloud flows. Desktop flows are flows that has to do with interaction with your physical computer. You want to automate processes within your computer environment or desktop environment using applications and softwares that are there. For example, you have Excel. You want Excel to open and edit a file for you. That's an example of a desktop flow and other types of desktop flows that are here. So this is a brief introduction to Microsoft Power Automate. The next class, Monday and Tuesday, would walk us through a little more complex solution connecting different parts of connecting different connectors in Microsoft Power Automate and showing you how to utilize this. Again, if you have questions, please be sure to ask them in the Discord server. You have mentors and myself here and other cloud advocates at Microsoft who will be glad to respond to your questions. If you have not yet registered for the 30 Days of Learning program and you're a student around the world, please be sure to register. Remember, there are 3 different tracks: the Power Platform track, which walks you through local development to Microsoft Power Platform, the Data Analytics track, which teaches you how to analyze data and get insights on data using Power BI, and the Data Science and Machine Learning track, which teaches you how to use programming languages such as Python and other software solutions to build your machine learning models. So please be sure to register, ask your questions. We love to see them coming. The goal is to help you develop the necessary skills that would help you become the next generation of builders. See you in the next class, everybody.